Today we're going to eliminate the unpleasant door opening sound. In this video, I'll illustrate using a Peugeot 308 sieverts in the T9 body as an example. But what I'm going to touch upon can be relevant to other cars, as the principle remains the same. Let's get started. First, let's try to diagnose and, in a manner of speaking, hear the problem. When I purchased the car, this problem was already there. The seller gave me a bit of a discount, but overall I already knew how such mechanisms are repaired, and that if I were to use a machinist's services, I wouldn't encounter any issues, including financial ones. Jumping ahead, I was a little off. This is what the door opening mechanism sounds like, more accurately, my door stop. As you can hear, it's quite unpleasant, but the saddest and worst part is for the repair or replacement of the doorstop, you have to remove the door, specifically the plastic paneling. If you're in luck, your car isn't a Peugeot. For the 108, chances are all you'll need to do is pop out the protective mesh and unscrew the speaker, but realistically there aren't that many of these cars around. Let's shift back to Peugeot. The first thing that deters a lot of people is removing the plastic door panel. And it's not by accident that, for instance, I managed to scrape this door with a plastic tool because the panel just wouldn't come off no matter what, and I also broke 5 or 6 fasteners. Whereas the right door came off, well, with relatively less trouble. I only broke 1 fastener there. So, if you're still up for taking off the door panel, I've got some advice from someone who's done this before, who's removed all 4 panels. I know what I'm talking about. First things first, the tools. You'll need a plastic tool to get the trim off. I ordered this one from China. Find the link in the description, but honestly speaking, I wouldn't recommend it. The problem is the tool is small and flimsy. It's designed for smaller parts in the car's interior. Plus the Chinese tool is made of ordinary plastic, and a more or less good tool is made of nylon. The cards are too, and it's held by quite serious clips which come off firstly with a serious amount of force and secondly with a characteristic sound that can be a little frightening if you're not used to it. It's like something has gone wrong. I would advise you to either find something more powerful in China, but I can't help you with that, or buy it in a car shop. Usually there are plenty of them in stock. Anyway, my personal advice is to buy a stronger tool, although you can work with this one overall. Secondly, I advise you to find and print out the instructions for removing the door card specifically for your car. What is it? Peugeot 308 in the T9 body. Then for fans of the French car industry, all the links to the necessary files are in the description. So how do you remove a plastic door card? Let's start with the front door. To do this, take a plastic tool, remove this decorative cover from the door handle. I would like to draw your attention to these 2 plastic tendrils, if you will. Move this cover from the wrong side, you can break them off. Do it as in the video. Moving on, you've gained access to one of the 3 screws that you need to unscrew. For the 2 upper ones, take the T30 sprocket. For the lower screw, you need the T20 sprocket. Take out the unscrewed screws, continue our disassembly. Here is a diagram where the clips are located on the front door. You need to start from the bottom and go up, I repeat. Since I did not have a normal tool, everything was filmed quite tensely. The main thing is the first clip, the rest are easier. Particular attention should be paid to this retainer. It is of a different design. To open it, you need a special tool, like a tiny hook, to be able to pull the metal tab, but naturally I didn't have one on hand, so I had to make do with a thick wire. Great, there you have it. The door panel comes off with ease. Make sure not to pull it too far at once, since there are wires. A window lift unit for the tweeter. It's easier to spin the speaker and it easily dislodges from its saddle. For this yellow connector, you need to pull the blue plastic to the right as you pull. The connector will open itself. This clip here is even easier to unsnap, you just need to apply pressure here. Long story short, there are no issues. The only thing is that the wires are not very long, so you have to carry out everything with the panel hanging. It's slightly troublesome. When we removed the door card, we are presented with this view. A bit of an intermediate result. I mentioned a tool. Here are our fasteners, the small ones, since I anticipated something might go wrong, way before I opened the doors. I ordered a package of such tools from China. The quality is quite good, it's worth it. They are almost $3 for 20 pieces. The original ones, let's say, from Lada Vesta, also fit. It's still French, although many deny it, and you can also buy original ones from Peugeot Citroën. Do as you see fit, but I will say it again, I like the quality of the Chinese clips, they can be bought. If you don't want to wait, take from Lada. The price there is also reasonable. How many to buy for spare, I can't advise you on that. I personally bought 20 pieces and almost all of them were useful. If you have a car store within walking distance, you can open 2 doors and see how many clips you break can be bought after the fact. Decide for yourself. Next, these traces of vandalism are my fault. I can advise you to cover the metal with masking tape. I think it will help. But these strips are a failure of French engineers. The door trim grinds against the metal. The fact that everything is tightly attached is of course good. But the fact that the plastic rubs against the metal in some places is a bit bad. I personally glued the door card with a special material to prevent noise. A similar tape from Stipi, as it turned out, is cheaper, but again it is up to you to decide. You have to do it or not. Next, to get to the door stopper, we need to remove the speaker. To do this, disconnect the connector and unscrew the 3 screws using the T20 sprocket. If someone needs the speaker number, then it's on your screen. This is the front speaker. There are slightly different ones on the back doors. And now that we have access to the door stopper, unscrew the 2 nuts on. 10-1 wine with a T40 asterisk. Take out our stopper through the speaker hole. And before we start the repair, let's tell you how to remove the rear door card so that you don't have to go back to that point. So pry off and snap off the decorative overlay. Take something sharp like an awl or a needle, remove the cap, and unscrew the screw with a T20 sprocket. Take it out, unscrew another screw at the bottom of the door, remove the handle and the button, the window lifter, and disconnect the retainer just to push right here. Nothing complicated afterward. According to the latch diagram, disconnect them. Everything's exactly the same as on the front door, only that according to the official instructions, the door should have had 2 complex latches like the front ones, but when I already removed the panel, made sure that they weren't there. Maybe the instructions were for a hatchback as a variant. The back panel comes off approximately the same way and with about the same force as the front one. When all the latches are unclicked, we also move the bottom of the panel to the side and lift it slightly. No force is required, it comes off perfectly. As for the limiter, the scheme is the same. Unscrew the speaker with a T20 sprocket, unscrew the limiter and take it out. If you need the number of the rear speaker, it's on your screen. Just a reminder, the front one is a little different. We smoothly transition to the device and repair of the door stopper. To disassemble it, we need a drill and a screwdriver. We drill out 2 rivets, remove the remains,
The limiter is taken apart.
Here's how it looks. All the problems arise from the wear of these yellow plastic parts.
Over time, they wear down and start to make an unpleasant sound.
Either the limiter won't hold the door, or
both problems occur simultaneously.
there are essentially 4 repair options. The first is to simply buy a new part and install it in its place. You can buy it disassembled, of course, but no guarantee how long it will hold up. This kind of limiter could be at its limit. I even know a case where a guy bought it right away, assembled it, and it immediately started crunching, so I don't recommend that. Secondly, you can do the repair using a furniture bolt.
A hole is drilled and a bolt with a rounded head is installed as a tip.
On the whole, it's not a bad idea. I'll say more. People write in reviews that everything works perfectly. But I personally have one question. How long will all this last? Now, the trend repair involves not plastic on plastic or fluoroplastic on plastic, but plastic on metal. And I think that over time problems will start again, only this time not with the plastic tip. With a plastic rod, I think the metal will wear it out quite quickly. By the way, I didn't find any reviews where people said they've been using it for 2 years and everything's fine. If you've had that experience, write it in the comments. Yes, there are plenty of positive reviews, but they were all written immediately after the repair, so again, I have doubts. The third option is to pull this tip out of fluoroplastic or a similar material designed for constant friction. Surely if you have a friend who is a lathe operator, this option will work for you.
You can see on your screen the dimensions of both the original and non-original parts.
So, you can pause and take notes if you're interested. You must be questioning what this non-original tip is. And this is the fourth option to solve this problem. When I began researching this topic, I learned about a Russian company that manufactures these parts from a special alloy of polymers.
I found not just one but another company in Ukraine that makes these too, although their price is a bit higher. Remember, this is as of my video editing time.
You should visit the websites yourself and see which one fits you best. In short, you can purchase a repair kit for the limiters specifically for your car.
This kit will include retainers, screws, nuts, washers, and dry lubricant.
Basically, everything you need for the repair. You won't need to search for anything else, as it's already in the boxes.
We've already got the limiter open.
We proceed to disassemble all the components and thoroughly degrease them, remove any dirt, including old grease. We then take the dry lubricant from the kit,
Lubricate the parts of the mechanism where there is friction. Allow the lubricant a few minutes to dry, and then assemble the whole mechanism in reverse order.
Having previously screwed on the screw from the kit, we use washers on each of the sides. I'll say it again, everything comes in the kit. We install the restrictor in a vise, carefully squeeze and tighten the screw. Well, that's it. That's the whole repair. We install everything in the car, tighten the nuts and screws. There's not much to comment on here. What I want to say in conclusion is that, well, first of all, now the doors open and close as they should. No complaints, everything's clear. When it comes to service life and warranty, the manufacturer declares 3 years, which is pleasing. Whether it's true or not, only time will tell. At the moment, I can't say anything, but I think everything should be fine because the company has been operating for more than a year. I watched a video about them and, they're quite serious about their approach. They have test benches for all this plastic, which is used not to make simply plastic or recycled plastic, but some kind of complex alloy of polymers. In short, most likely, it'll work fine. This is as good as factory made, considering the price. You can check the current prices on the website. It cost me about approximately $20 for a set of 4 doors, including delivery to Belarus, which is roughly 1,500 Russian rubles. So you understand, half of the cost is delivery, so the price is quite reasonable. Once again, I'm pleased with the result, despite the work being quite extensive and requiring precision. But at least now you know how to solve this problem. That's all from me today. Thank you all for watching.